Is a proposed bylaw amendments public hearing. That'll be read by Nicole.
Town of Millis Office of the Planning Board, public hearing notice. The Town of Millis Planning Board will hold a public hearing pursuant to General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 5, on Tuesday, March 15th, 2022, at the Veterans Memorial Building, Room 229, 900 Main Street, Millis, Mass., at 7:30. The purpose of the public hearing is to provide interested parties in an opportunity to comment on proposed amendments to the Town of Millis zoning bylaws. The proposed amendments include Article, Associate Member to the Planning Board Bylaw Amendment, to see if the town will vote to amend the zoning bylaws as most recently amended by amending the section identified herein as follows, or to take any other action related thereto. By amending Section 12, Administration and Enforcement, subsection T, Associate Member to the Planning Board, from an Associate Member of the Planning Board shall be appointed by the Board of Selectmen for a term of 1 year, such Associate Member to act on special permits. Amending it to, an Associate Member to the Planning Board shall be appointed by the Select Board for a term of 1 year, such Associate Member to act on special permits and site plans. And Article, Section 6, Area, Height, and Bulk Regulations Bylaw Amendment, to see if the town will vote to amend the zoning bylaws as most recently amended by amending the section identified herein as follows, or to take any other action related thereto. By amending Section 6, Area, Height, and Bulk Regulation, Table 2, Area Regulations in Table 3, Height and Bulk Regulations, by adding the IP2 district to the IP column on each table. The complete text of the proposed amendments is on file with the Office of the Town Clerk at the Veterans Memorial Building, 900 Main Street, Millis, Mass., and is available for inspection during regular business hours, and is also posted on the Planning Board's webpage. These articles may not be numbered as they will ultimately appear in the warrant at town meeting. Richard Nichols, Chair.
All right, so these two amendments, the first one was to give the associate member some more input to the meetings, just in case we were short members due to illness or whatever. So basically, it just makes the planning board more robust. And Josh is already, the associate is already here anyhow, so it really made sense to make that change. And the other one was basically it was a clerical error earlier, and the amendment to the tables 2 and 3 to add the IP2 district should have happened earlier, and it just got missed. So we're basically doing a housekeeping issue to make the IP1 and IP2 districts have the same regulations. So is there any discussion in the board? Nope. Is there any discussion in the audience? Okay, so I would like to close the public hearing.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, passed unanimously. We might as well vote on this. We vote? No, we just send this, okay, we do vote, okay.
Motion to recommend
To
that
the-
we approved it as a warrant article at town meeting.
Okay, all right, I make a motion that we,
You want to do them separately?
okay, that's fine. I make a motion that we present the article for the associate member to the planning board bylaw amendment to the select board for town meeting.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. Second one is Article Section 5, no, 4, 6, Area Height and Bulk Regulation Bylaw Amendment, to present that to the select board.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, great, thank you. Okey dokey. Next item on the agenda? It's not 7:40.
Oh, we got 5 minutes.
Okay.
We can do the minutes. if
All
you
right,
want.
we'll do the minutes. All right, I make a motion that we approve the minutes for February.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Set a May meeting.
Yeah, we can do that. what's a meeting?
When's April?
Our next meeting is April 12th, and in May, I think the first Monday is town meeting, and the second Monday is elections. So it's up to you if you want to do the 3rd or the 10th. The 3rd would be the day after town meeting. The 10th would be the day after election.
When we do the 10th.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Because that way we can, Josh gets in, I can go see the other folks.
Right.
So I already spoke to Pete anyhow, so it won't be up to him because I think, what's her name's chair?
Aaron?
Aaron, so. But shouldn't be a problem.
10th works for me.
So,
Great. All right. We got 3 minutes to go.
I have David's review letter in your packet as well.
Town meeting is when?
Yeah.
Town meeting's when?
The 3rd? Second.
Second.
One of the first, yeah, Monday.
And when's the election?
The following Monday, which is the 9th.
May 9th, okay.
For you at home, we have to wait until 7:40 to start the next thing. That's where we're cooling our heels for a few minutes. We're not gonna make must-see TV. We're just gonna-
Too much down from
Could have put these things closer. We should give them a minute apart.
If I did that, we'd have gone over 10.
We can let these gentlemen come up and set up.
Oh, yeah, if you guys wanna come and set up, that's.
Yep.
We just can't officially start until,
Yeah.
yeah, and George is right, that clock's wrong.
No,
Yep, we'll go by
we'll go by-
Okay.
By Verizon?
39.
Yep, that's what I got.
We're gonna synchronize our watches. It's gonna be like a military operation thing.
You think I have any idea how to change the time on this foolish thing? Okay. This is like time set by Apple. That's all I know. All right, now that it's 7:40, special permit application for with site approval public hearing. 813 Main Street, Rockies, Ace Hardware. Nicole. Town of Millis Office of the Planning Board Notice of Public Hearing. In accordance with the provisions of Chapter 40A, Section 11, Mass General Law, the Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, March 15th, 2022, at 7:40 p.m. in the Veterans Memorial Building, Room 229, 900 Main Street, Millis, on the application of Kevin Bradley, Rocky's Ace Hardware, requesting a special permit under Section 13, Special Permit Conditions, Paragraph C, Site Plan Review of the Zoning Bylaw of the Town of Millis, and Section 12Q, Subsection 5, Use Regulations, Accessory Uses Number 8, Outdoor Storage, for installation of an above-ground propane tank and parking restriping for property located at 813 Main Street, Rocky's Ace Hardware, Millis, Mass. Assessors Map 24, Parcel 58. Copy of the application and site plan is on file with the Office of the Town Clerk and can be reviewed at the Planning Board's webpage. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the application should appear at the time and place designated. Richard Nichols, Chair.
All right, so this is Rocky's Hardware, which is across from McDonald's, downtown Millis, and you guys are looking at putting propane.
Yes.
So if you want to, you can walk through. It's pretty simple, but for the folks at home, let's walk through what we're going to do.
Absolutely. Bill Halson from Land Planning Engineering.
Yep.
Kevin Valley.
Yep.
Here's current site, existing.
Yeah, the only thing with that, Kevin, if you could stand the mic, because people at home, I think, will hear you.
Yeah, you'll just need to hold it, carry it over there and hold it.
Sure.
That's,
Sure, I
sorry.
like to point in.
It'd be like Bob Barker.
Yeah.
That's right, next contestant. Existing site, Rocky's Highway, I've been there a number of years now. Site is mostly paved. The proposal is to put a 500-gallon propane tank about 10 feet from the building, bollards around it for protection, and restripe the parking lot to meet current standards. We calculated the number of parking places required, and we can meet that requirement. At the time of our survey, there was a tent over in here, and we're proposing to move that to meet parking requirements. And we're specifying the two closest parking places to the propane tank for the propane customers, so they don't have to carry the tanks too far. We did note where the truck can park, so it's not in the fire department's way for filling the tanks. They can access around the building there, or also around the front as well. We had some comments early on from the building department, which we addressed on this plan.
And you received an approval from the fire department too, correct? Yeah. All right, Caitlin, do you want to, basically want to know about, there's like 4
Yeah.
items that they had to walk
Yeah,
through.
so Beta reviewed and just came up with a few existing nonconformancies that we noted, and most were addressed anyway. The first, so they meet the parking lot requirements. Proposed parking spaces are consistent with the existing conditions. The Beta noted a tractor trailer that was parked in the front parking lot with a sign on it. It was to discuss with the board how long the truck and storage container would be on site, whether it should be moved.
Right, and that is a question for you guys. I talked to the manager, or somebody there.
Yes, it was removed yesterday.
Okay. Yeah,
And the gray storage, I'll wait, or should I
Go ahead.
And the gray storage container is being moved next Monday.
Okay,
It's empty, it's just waiting for a driver to pick it up.
The only other comment was about the access route for the delivery of the propane. It's accessible through the back, that back route. We recommended that a condition be that the route be kept clear, accessible, and regraded to maintain the gravel surface.
No problem.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so the only other comment that I had on there, for myself, was that you guys have a planter in the front, and one of the things for the downtown that we try to do is to make things look a little nicer. So, we'd like to, and this is my proposal, and I'll bring that in front of the board, is to, if you guys could fix the one that's in front of the post there.
Yes.
And possibly, we'd like you to add maybe one more planter of some sort, on the opposite side, because you have the sign there, on the opposite side, you have the light pole.
Yep.
So if you guys could add another one, I think that would be something to at least make it look a little nicer. It can be seasonal flowers or something that, you could, it isn't a burden on you.
Yep, absolutely, we will do that.
And then the other thing was to have the parking lot striped on a 3-year basis, because I go to Rockies to get my stuff, and I don't think the parking lot has been striped since it was 9 to 9 supermarket, so,
Yeah.
I think that would be something that we could have done.
We're also gonna paint the parking lot lights, the big poles
Oh, okay.
going up.
Good.
They're nasty.
Yeah, no, that'd be great, just to.
That's in the
freshen it
plan.
up a bit would be nice.
Yep.
Is anyone in the board have anything Alan?
Yeah, I appreciate your sprucing the place up. It's nice. My one concern is, in the findings, there's a note that condition 6 from the December 10th, 2002 Planning Board decision, which will remain in effect, requires that all outside areas, including the area under the shade canopies, shall not include pesticides, fertilizers, or any other type of chemical. I have seen fertilizers, driveway sealer, salt, number of chemicals displayed outdoors, so maybe we could tighten that up.
Yes, to be honest with you, I've been with the company for 15 years. I went through 38 leases, and that is not, for some reason, that 2002 agreement was not with leases. When it was sent to me by Camille, I was shocked. I went to the store manager, who's been there for 18 years, and she's, I didn't know that. So I reviewed it with the entire store, and we'll definitely conform to that.
Thank you.
The only thing that'll be outside will be mulches or potting soil.
Sure, of course.
Sand. Sand.
Yes,
I've
Sam.
done sand there before.
Yep,
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Now, this is all going to be fenced in and locked, correct?
correct.
Okay, and it's possible that maybe, and I'm not sure if you have a sign there now, because you have propane tanks, is that people do this all the time. They walk into the store with an empty propane tank. Is it be probably advisable to put up a sign saying,
Yes, that comes with the package when they
no-
install it.
no
They
tanks in
do
the
all
building.
the safety signage, the fire extinguishers, and they put a sign on the front door.
okay, is there going to be a separate fence around the tank
Yes.
itself?
Yep,
Okay, so nobody can access it?
Correct.
Except an employee?
right.
Okay. Okay, that's all I got. You're gonna, this one shows the fence in a little disarray. Your chain link fence looks a little,
It'll all be fixed when we do the fencing. Oh, I know where you're talking, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that's it.
All right, if there's no other comment, I make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second?
All right, motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and so we went ahead and actually wrote a decision, Caitlin wrote one, so we actually have that set. Did you give them a copy of it?
It's right here, I think.
Awesome.
So, let's go through that quick.
I think, I wasn't here for that meeting, March 15th.
I can't remember.
This is the first
No.
public hearing.
Yes, yes.
This is March
March
15th.
15th is
Oh, today, all right. Brain dead. See what happens when you get old?
right.
No, I was scanning it, I saw it get online, and I'm like, wait a minute.
What's today?
That's what I kept thinking, I'm like, well, when was there, did we already have a meeting in March that I missed?
All
I
right, so,
did the same.
Okay.
so on the decision, the only couple things were towards the end was the, we have the special conditions.
Page 7.
And, number 13 would be, the delivery route, you guys just need to grade that once a year.
Yep,
But, you know, cause that in the back does get pretty
Yeah.
rough. Restriping of the lot every 3 years,
Yep.
and, refurbish the existing planter, and add, I got a bench, I added a bench too, sorry. And
That's fine.
planters and a bench out at
We'll
the,
dress it up
the
nice.
sidewalk area, yeah, so that's all we're asking for that, so, if that's amenable to the board, does anyone?
Do we want to add the condition of these, of making sure there's a sign so that there's no empty,
He said that was part of the propane
that's
package.
part of the, okay.
yep.
All right,
So that's fine. Okay, I make a motion, so this is the special, I make a motion that we, approve the special permit, site plan approval with, for 813 Main Street, Rockies Highway.
second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, great.
Great, thanks a lot.
Great,
Thank you very much,
Appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Kevin, I'll let you know when it's all ready, and I'll send you the letter.
Thank you very much, appreciate all your help, too.
My pleasure.
next item on the agenda would be a Form A application, but I have to take a minute.
Yes, Mr. Chair,
Ms. Riley.
I, just announcing that I will be recusing myself as I am an abutter to one of the lots that is under consideration.
Great, thank you. All right, so, this would be a Form A application for lots 5 and 6 on Woodbury Lane.
How you doing?
Good.
I'm Gary from.
Oh, yeah, get up to the mic, Gary.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm Gary from Kelowna Engineering.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have a plan from me doing that.
I do have the small one, but I can grab you.
Was it for you the last time?
I just put a little bit of something.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Oh, here's Woodbury Lane.
Yeah.
Brutus is over here,
Correct.
and where's Kenny's place? Over here. Okay. Is this Kenny's land? It was, he sold it.
So pretty much what we're doing is we are taking, so 5A and 5B, we're taking 5B from Lot 5A, and then we're taking parcel 6B from Lot 6A, and we're combining it with Lot 7 and deeding it back to Mrs. Nowak. Silva Development owns all these lots right now. So that's pretty much all we're doing, and then we have the 15-foot grading easement on the back of the two 6A and 5A, just, just to keep privacy between those two lots right there. And those grading easements on the side of Lot 6A and Lot 5A are already existing. We're not changing anything with those, and that's pretty much all we're doing.
And we have enough frontage.
Yeah, and then we have enough area for both lots. We brought it down to the minimum pretty much, but it confirms with zoning, and then also all those parcels will be deeded back to Mrs. Nowak.
All right, anything from the board?
So there's only one buildable lot here?
No, so lot 6A and 5A are buildable lots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the parcels that we're separating off and combining back to lot 7 are unbuildable. And then we're just deeding it back to Mrs. Nowak, because the owner of all three right now is Silva Development, and he's just gonna deed that back to her with the lots that we broke off of 5A and 6A.
So they'll be deeded for.
Yeah, so on the deed, it's gonna be combined with lots 7,
Yeah.
and then deeded back to her.
Okay, so lot 7A goes back to,
Yeah, so lot 7, and then on the deed, it will say, including lot 5B, parcel 6B,
Okay.
and then deeded back to her. And then the two buildable lots will be 5A and 6A.
gotcha, okay. Okay, how much frontage is on lot 6A?
81 feet.
81, well,
Well, then you have the curve too, so,
it's gotta be minimum, what, 125, right?
yeah, which it does meet it. It conforms.
You get 81, whatever those come out to be.
Exactly.
Um,
That makes sense. Probably the beginning.
Is there sewer on Blueberry? No.
No.
Is there sewer on Village? No. Okay. three criteria. One was, I can't remember, it's in the book.
Frontage.
One was frontage, one was
Square footage.
an access.
Right.
They got 25. Wow. They just make it by .002 and 004,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Oh, you said minimum.
Yeah, yeah, pretty
Gotta make
much.
sure the tape's on the right side of the.
We try our best.
Okay.
All right, I've already looked at it, so I didn't see anything that jumped out at me.
All right, well,
Caitlin, with your eagle eye, did anything jump out at you?
And I got
All right, perfect. That's a good answer. All right,
Okay.
if there's nothing else, I make a motion that we approve the.
Mr. Chair?
Oh, go ahead.
You have a question?
Sure, go ahead. Could you identify yourself?
I will do so. Nicole Riley, 258 Village Street. I am the abutter, the northwest side of 5A. You'll see on the map says now or formerly of Zizanio Realty Trust. That is my property line. I have a question. When all of this land was originally, years and years ago when it was first laid out, Mr. and Mrs. Novak have a huge barn, and to provide blockage from the residents of Blueberry, there was roughly 20-plus foot berm that was built along Blueberry on those two lots, and then along my property lot, my back property line, and the back property line of the Kumo Group, which my understanding was originally owned by the builder. That in clearing Lot 5, the berm all along Blueberry Lane has been removed, and along that back line that runs the northwest side of Lot 5A and along, that abuts my property line. So the back of my yard goes up about 20 feet, and I have a fence, and there was 30, 40 feet before it started to slope down. The clearing of this lot has already begun, and it has been cleared so that there's maybe 10 or 15 feet now. So my backyard goes up about 20 feet high, it goes out about 10, 15 feet, and then it's dropping back down to street level. So my question is simply, what is going to be done to ensure that there's no erosion and that my fence isn't going to topple over and the trees that are up there are not going to topple over into Lot 5? Because I really don't want to have to replace my fence, and I really don't. If all of that clearing, I have a fence, but it does come in about at least 5 feet from the property line. The fence the fence juts around a tree, so the tree is partly on my property line and partly on 5A, and it's a 30-foot oak or something on it. It's huge. And my concern is with all of this clearing of this berm, of the roots of that tree, and then again of my fence, if that starts to erode, if that tree comes down, it's going to come across my yard and take out my house. And so I'd like to know what the builder is planning to do now that he has dug out the majority of that berm. And I apologize, I had pictures and I was running late to the meeting and I didn't to show you, but
I mean, I've been out on the job site. I know exactly where your fence is. I don't think you're gonna have an issue at all. I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. You don't think doesn't make me feel all warm and fuzzy.
I've been out in the field doing this for a long time, and I've seen erosion like that, and I just don't think the erosion that you're thinking is going to happen is going to affect your fence or your tree at all. I don't think it's gonna get. I just know that it's not gonna happen.
Could I ask a question, and then just, and I don't know if this is your expertise, but, I mean, in my understanding, because I was in construction, anything that we do when we build, we can't affect the neighbors. Yeah, I can't get water on them, I can't kill the trees.
Yeah.
I can't have their fence fall over. So I assume that must be also illegal, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know if that's your part of your expertise of.
Yeah, so not particularly. Now, when it comes to trees, it's complicated because the reality is there isn't any legal recourse in the event, for instance, we had a storm, there was natural damage and a tree from a neighboring lot fell into my backyard. Now,
Yeah.
thankfully, it didn't hit the house, but there wasn't any legal recourse for me to go after the neighbor, even if they hadn't trimmed the tree like they should or taken care of it appropriately. So that much I know in terms of trees. As far as affecting my actual property, well, no, they can't trespass, right? They can't do anything that would either negatively impact my current use or otherwise, right? But it gets dicey when you're talking about grading land and then having, right, we're talking about erosion or runoff, in a lot of other cases. I mean, it's so hard to anticipate whether or not it's actually going to affect fences or trees.
But legally, because that's, and then go into betas here, I mean, we are not allowed to let any water go off our site that's in the story dump.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to do that. So if you've got a hill going down, it's probably already been running down to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, the hill is not, I mean, your slope in the back of your property.
I'm not talking about water flow, I mean,
Yeah,
because
no,
there's
the-
no water flow, I mean, the water that flows onto my property is coming from my property.
Yeah.
But, and as Josh put it, if that tree, if the roots are weakened because you're clearing right up to the edge, right close to the edge of that tree, if a year or so, because it's been weakened, that tree falls, I don't have any recourse, because I know that for a fact as an attorney of 30 years. I can't go after you, I'm the builder, I can't go after the next door neighbor, because it's nature, but because there is this issue now that you're digging, this tree's been there, my house has been there for 20 years. My house was built before anything else on Blueberry Lane was built, and that berm was put there. So if you've been out there, you see this tree is over 20 years old. So it has long roots, and as I said, this berm, as it came up, went out like, I don't know, 40, 50 feet. I mean, all the kids in the neighborhood would go up there. Now, it's gonna be down to about 10, at least as it's dug out now, the closest part to my property line is from where the hill is on my side. Even, I mean, and I'm looking over my fence. So from my fence line to where the ground has been dug out, it's like 10 feet, and not all of that is Lot 5. Part of that is my fence from actually, and I know this only because their surveyor just went out and marked it, from my fence, there's another like 3 feet. So they've dug into their property about 7, there's only about 7 feet left of land. But as I said, so you've got, well, obviously, if you've got 10 feet, you've got this 20-plus-year-old tree that's up there. I just don't want to end, I'm just trying to find out what if anything, they can do to prevent this sort of erosion, because I won't have recourse.
Do you have to file an earth removal permit for this?
They're not removing, you haven't removed earth, you've just moved it, right? They're just filling. That's what the building inspector informed me when I discussed it with him.
We did.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, we have filed.
the public hearing will probably be at the May meeting, but I will get back to you on that, but this was just
Oh.
received today.
Michael Curatola.
Oh,
All we've
you
done,
actually have to go up to Mike. Yeah.
Come sit with me, Mike.
actually, all we've done is move the berm from the front to the back. That's all we've done. We haven't cut any trees down. And there's gonna be a gradual slope from your land down. If we do a drastic slope, we're gonna have to put a wall. We don't wanna put a wall. So obviously, to minimize costs, we're gonna do it just a gradual grade. So there won't be any kind of erosion whatsoever.
All right, and unfortunately on trees, going back to that is, from what I've been told, because we ran into it on a job, technically, if you disrupt the roots of the tree and kill it, they'd have to prove it. The neighbor could try to, go after you in court. However, that being said, it would be very, it's difficult. You'd spend probably more on the proving that.
I'm well aware of that, and that's the reason I'm bringing it up now, because since the tree is partly on my land and partly on their land,
Right.
my question is if that, as I said, it's over 20 years, it's a big tree.
But
If it comes
unfortunately-
down,
Right.
Right, unfortunately for me, I have no recourse, which is why I'm asking now if they're planning on doing anything to prevent that. And not set up a situation where potentially there could be, I mean, the tree could fall in the other direction, and since it's partially on my land, I don't want to have to defend a claim from whomever they sell their house to. So that's why I was just trying to find out if there would be some sort of protection.
Do you want the tree? Because we can offer to cut it down if you don't want it, if you're concerned. We'd be more than happy.
I'd prefer the trees up there because
Okay.
it does provide,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
you know, it is providing some privacy
Yeah, yeah.
between my house and the neighbor's house,
Just one
but
more question on this is, and just to change it, just to go back to the beginning. So these two lots specifically, which we're bringing up, doesn't necessarily, they're not in your backyard, right?
the lots?
The lots over there?
What do you mean they're not in my, I abut, yeah, no, 5A, I abut
No, no,
5A.
I wanted to go back to the beginning. So
Yeah.
I just, so right now, the two lots are beside the house, not behind, correct?
No,
No,
my house faces Village Street,
Yeah.
whereas these two lots face Blueberry
This
Lane.
is our house.
So my back lot
Okay, that's your back.
abuts their side lot. So their sideline is my back
That's what
line.
I was trying to get.
Yes.
I don't know your backyard, that's why I was asking. Okay, good.
We are not gonna be cutting to the lot line, nowhere near the lot line.
Okay.
Question, I'm not sure where the tree is, because I haven't been back there, but would it be, and I'm not sure how this would work, Caitlin would know, what if you weld the tree?
Well, it,
Yeah, put a
Well,
welder
the-
on it.
But we're not gonna be
yeah.
anywhere near it.
Yeah.
We're not,
So if they're not near it, the thing with, if you did, number one, wells don't work, and if you did, they'd have to go the whole width of the route. I mean, basically.
No, I'm sorry, a well around it.
Yeah, I know, but those, they don't work, number
Okay.
one. What that does is it makes the tree die over 5 years versus 2.
Okay.
So,
Mr. Chairman?
yes,
So
go ahead.
how far are you gonna be to that tree?
I mean, if it's,
septic
if it,
design, but
yeah, but I mean, would you say it's 5 feet into your property, that connects to the fence pretty much, or is it right on the property line? The tree?
I don't, it's,
It's-
there's so much
it's
brush
yeah,
up
it's
there,
close.
and it's, we can't,
I
I mean,
mean,
I
from
do
that
know
property
my
line, you're
fence,
what,
actually,
yeah,
when
10,
the
15
fence was
feet
put
away
in,
with a
they had to
gradual
go
slope.
around the
Yeah.
tree.
You're not gonna.
I mean, I just wanted to ask the question since
No,
Oh, yeah,
you
no,
were
that's
here.
fine.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the slope, I mean, you're gonna be 10, 15, probably even more
Even
from the
more
property
than that, from
line
the property.
before the slope even
we
starts.
want a gradual slope, because if it's a drastic slope, that's not gonna benefit us either.
Well, that's, I mean, that's answers a lot of my question,
Yeah.
because the gentleman at the site told me, he's, you know, the way it is right now, there's a section that he pointed out to me. He said it's gonna be just like that, and that was at the time, it was like cut, I haven't been
No.
down there
No,
for a few
it's
weeks.
gonna be a gradual
Yeah, it's gonna be a gradual slope.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
it was, yeah, the way he was showing it was that it was, I'm like, well, are you building a wall? He said, no.
Would that be one of your former subcontractors?
That's all I have, thank you.
All right, anyone else? Go ahead, Alan.
It sounds like you have it worked out, but I was gonna offer an outside-of-the-box suggestion. You're concerned about the tree, but you wanna keep the privacy, you're willing to cut down the tree. How about cutting down the tree and planting arborvitae or some sort of hedge along there to maintain your privacy and eliminate the risk of the tree?
I have a partner in this, I'd have to confer with him, but
Just a thought.
No, I appreciate that, yeah,
Okay, so you're gonna do it so her tree doesn't die in 2 years.
I'm sorry?
I
No,
said,
he's gonna grade it where it won't. They
You-
won't be-
you're
Yeah, we're not gonna be anywhere near
okay,
it.
because you are being televised and recorded, so anything you say, you know, we all can come back and say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then you don't do it, so.
Yeah.
So,
As I said, we would be willing to, if she didn't want the tree, we'd be
Yeah.
willing to cut it for her.
how much
She was
dirt are you
concerned.
taking out?
I don't know, I think the application we put in for 5,000 yards.
Removal of sandy loam for construction of 2 homes, 4,500 yards.
Upward.
That's for both lots.
Yeah. As I said, all we've done so far is just push it. He made a berm so you couldn't see.
The
all
barn,
that-
pretty much.
all- Yeah, behind his property. So we pushed it to give us privacy now from his property.
You good? All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
So-
if that's gonna be a gentle slope,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that answers my question.
When we're out there working too, I'll give you a holler.
Great, thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, so going back to the lots, if they seem to meet all the criteria, so I make a motion that we approve the A and R for lots 5 and 6 on Blueberry Lane.
Second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
You want to sign the Mylar, so Mike can take that with him, and then you can sign the other one.
Do you want me to take the Mylar, or are you gonna take it?
I have the black one.
Yeah, I'm going back to the office right now, so it's up to you. Do you wanna take it, or do you wanna take it? Well, I want it back to the office, or are we gonna go record it? All right, you take it, Jeremy.
Oh, you can, you don't have to take it.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Thanks.
Okay, if you would just sign that, they can take it with them, and then we can sign the others when we log the sign. Have a good night.
Take care, bye-bye.
Good night, Melissa.
Okay,
That's not Melissa, that's Caitlin. Oh, good Jesus.
Us? Sleepy town.
Oh,
We'll have you come back when he's alongside.
We'll be watching.
We're always watching. I'll let you know when the hearing is scheduled for this application.
Hey, we have to sign them all, Camille?
You can sign them all later, but just give,
Okay.
just sign the
Okay,
Mylar
we'll
for
sign the
Mike.
Mylar, yeah, so use that, yep.
Is that everything? I guess I'll talk to the lady over there, she's the boss.
Yep, you can take that with Mike, and I will, I'll have a memo signed by the and I'll send that out. You can take that to you.
Okay, thank you.
You-
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right, so I think that's it on our agenda. The only one thing I did want to bring up is, on the 28th of this month, the select board is going to have a hearing on sewer. So I know there's been a lot of stuff on Facebook. Well, what I would say to people is, please go to the website, look at the proposal, make your own decision on what it's about. You know, there's been all sorts of comments of why we're doing it. The town is out of sewer capacity, and what the town is trying to do is to, to make these, or ask to have these connections made to get to the actual flow of the sewer, which will, right now, when you have a sewer go in, they put an assumed capacity in. So it's like 220 gallons per person per day, and that's how the sewer is assigned. In actual flow, up in like Glen Ellen, they're getting a third of that. So the town could go from having no sewer capacity to actually having sewer capacity. So, like I said, there's a lot of stuff going back and forth. You should look at the information, make your own decisions. You know, obviously, everyone's gonna have a different thought on it, but I would ask the people to go ahead and do that. And attend the meeting on Monday night on the 28th, because then if you have something to say, you can have your voice be heard. So, other than that, if there's nothing else, I make a motion to adjourn.
second.
All right, motion's made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
I just have things for you guys to sign. Oh, yeah, that will have to be signed, Josh, and I can just, you can just put it back up there with the other
Kenny
ones
still
to be
alive?
signed. Yes. And I'll move that one.
He was sick for a long time.